On this week's show, Peloton announces they would remove the Apple GymKit feature, only to reverse that decision and keep it.
Plus, German instructor Irene is back. Camila and Denis are now teaching groove rides, a Green Day artist series, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 165 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and this week I am just joined by my lovely co-host, John Pruitt. Hello, John.
Just the two of us today.
Just the two of us. We can get up to such mischief, John.
Get into some trouble.
Without Big Brother watching.
Yeah, without the fun police.
How are you?
Good. I've been taking it easy this week. I had a little medical procedure last Friday, so I'm a little sore and recovering from that. So, it's been a very light week on the platform in terms of working out. So I'm easing, they recommended at least a week of not really, not biking or doing any high impact.
Are you going to be like Jen Sherman and announce your doctor's name so everyone can Google and see what kind of...
No, I'm not shouting that person out for... No.
All right. We'll keep it in the inner circle. Well, good. Glad that you're back and glad that you're fine, and happy to have you. I guess, we have stuff to share with you guys this week. There isn't a ton of stuff, but we will make it into a ton because it's me and John. So there'll be, that little chit chat going on back and forth. But folks, we always like to remind you before we get started with the news, how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yes, and of course, you can always listen to us if you want to hear the audio only. If you're on the go, we're on all podcast platforms. You know the drill. We've done this intro for God knows how long now. So, that's about it. Keep it short and sweet.
Exactly. And of course, folks, we're on all social media platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, X, just follow us on those platforms so that you are here for all of the latest news. And if you miss them, you get to listen to this fantastic show once a week and you can get all caught up, right?
Exactly.
All right. I caught John as he was drinking. All right. Well, with that being said, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
So today's top story is hot off the press. Whilst Peloton had initially announced the removal of Apple GymKit support from the Peloton Bike Plus by February 27th of this year, they have now shared that they are reversing this decision. So the initial announcement was made via email and a pop-up notification on the Bike Plus indicating the transition from Apple GymKit to Peloton's one-tap tracking for Apple Watch users. The change was met, though, with feedback from the community, leading Peloton to maintain the GymKit support for the Bike Plus for the foreseeable future. So this decision allows members to continue using their Apple Watch for heart rate tracking and workout metrics on cycling workouts with the Bike Plus. Peloton's reversal, which I find, interesting and kind of nice to really know that they listen, did in fact come directly in response to members' feedback. So emphasizing the importance of the GymKit feature to their user experience.
Yeah.
So I like that they listened. I like that folks like that, aspect and like that feature, and that they listened. They have gone ahead and updated the support pages to reflect the initial decision to remove GymKit support, citing the limited capability of GymKit with only cycling workouts on the Bike Plus as a reason. However, Peloton's one-tap tracking, which was introduced in March 2022, allows for a broader range of workout metric syncing across all Peloton hardware and class types. So despite the reversal, they do aim to offer both GymKit and one-tap tracking to provide flexibility in how members connect their Apple Watches to Peloton equipment. And again, it just highlights the responsiveness to community preferences and importance of features, like GymKit for an integrated experience. Curious to hear what you guys think about it. So if you do have thoughts and it is something that you guys had, been out there, typing in on One Peloton or sharing that information, we'd love to know it, and definitely pop a comment either in, the comment section of the YouTube video, or certainly in the, on one of Chris's platforms to let us know what your thoughts are. But definitely makes a good decision.
So you have an Apple Watch and you connect your Bike Plus, right?
I do. And I use it. I have to say I use it. And it was interesting because the last couple times I'm down in Miami, so I was using my Bike Plus here and it wasn't connecting. And I actually was frustrated because I do like for it to sync. Otherwise, you have to kind of set it up, through the Apple platform just to kind of get your bike ride in, just so I'm counting my workout for the day. So I like the fact that it connected, and I used it all the time. So
in terms of metrics that are displayed on your Bike Plus, it's just showing your heart rate, right, and your Strive score color bars.
Correct.
But
correct.
on your,
so I've had no Strive score.
But the data that I guess you would look on your watch that it's getting from the Bike Plus, it's giving you more data on your workout from wearing your Apple Watch. Right? Besides your heart rate.
Correct. Okay. So you're getting your distance and your, all of that will then come out on your watch.
Gotcha. Okay. I was kind of curious as to if it was just heart rate related, if that was what the main gripe was, or if there's obviously a lot more data that it's giving you on the Apple side. Interesting.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, the people have spoken. It's nice that they never removed it. They actually reversed course on the decision before the deadline approach.
Correct.
We never lost the feature, so that was nice.
Correct.
Well, we have some studio closures coming up next week. There's going to be no live Peloton classes from both studios, from London and New York studio, from February 19th to the 21st. It's termed the winter studio closure, but it's beginning on President's Day, which is a federal holiday here in the U.S., which is Monday the 19th. But we had previously reported part of the closure. The London studios, it's going to be closed a little bit longer. It's going to be closed from the 19th to the 25th. And the New York studios, they're only going to be closed for 3 full days, Monday through Wednesday. So while there'll be no live classes from February 19th to the 21st from New York, and there's going to be no live classes from the 19th to the 25th in London, there's already a whole bunch of encore classes scheduled throughout that time, with numerous premieres, indicating that we should expect to see some brand new content over the course of those days when there's no live classes. So don't fret. They always have some new stuff for us to tide us over in the meantime. But live classes will resume from PSNY on Thursday the 22nd, and from PSL the following Monday the 26th.
All right. Well, the beloved German instructor, Irene Camila, formerly known as Irene Scholz, made her return to Peloton on Tuesday, February the 13th, with her first class back being a 30-minute pop ride at noon Eastern Time. Announced via the Peloton Germany Facebook page, her comeback was eagerly anticipated by the Peloton community. In addition to the pop ride, she also taught an upper body strength class and a glutes and legs strength class on Thursday, the 15th. So just this past Thursday, all instructed in German. Irene's return was previously announced in late 2023, marking her rejoining Peloton after leaving in May of 2021. So Irene, if those of you are unfamiliar, was a cycle and strength coach, one of the first in the German community. I believe she joined around the same time that Eric did, and was beloved. I mean, absolutely everybody adored her. But she went off and got married and actually moved to Florida. She was up on the east coast of Florida, up in Jupiter, with her husband, who is a professional golfer. And I guess he was traveling and needed to be in Florida, practicing and stuff. And it was obviously too hard for her to continue being an instructor. They also welcomed their first baby at the end of 2021. So, obviously she took off time to be a mom and be with her son. But despite her absence, many of her classes, those that had not been purged from before she left, were still available in the on-demand library, and folks, was still able to take them. So she definitely was not forgotten, and people really, really loved going back to her classes.
Yeah, I remember when she was teaching from home. During the lockdown, she was one of the instructors who had a camera set up in her flat. I think in her flat. I'm not sure if it was Germany or if it was in Germany or London at the time.
I don't remember that. I must be honest, I don't remember that. But so again, her return just adds to Peloton's German language content, offering more cycling and strength classes. Her comeback is no question has been celebrated by members who have definitely been looking forward to her classes.
Yeah, and our producer Chris had chimed in on the message and said that she had over 1,000 people on her first ride back.
That's amazing.
Which is which is a really strong number if it's a German language class. Yeah.
I'm sure there were tons of English-speaking people because so many folks had, I used to ride with her, and she was a very big supporter of the program of Pelo Buddy, and used to watch the show, I believe, back in the day. So we're thrilled, and we welcome her back with open arms. We're excited to see where she goes, and so that's really fun and exciting. So good for her.
Welcome back. Well, 2 new instructors are joining the Groove Ride coaching roster. Denis Morton and Camila Ramon have been added, and Peloton recently shared the news via Instagram. And Denis, he already had a Groove Ride on the upcoming schedule. It's coming up actually on February 20th. It's a 30-minute Groove Ride at 5:30, and it's going to be a premiere. So I guess it was already recorded, and it's just dropping straight that night into the on-demand library. And then Camila, she has, I'm trying to see, Camila, I don't see where
hers is. I don't remember seeing what hers was.
I guess it's not up yet, but Emma Lovewell, who teaches Groove Rides, she had teased in one of her recent classes that she was in the process of training new instructors to teach Groove, which caused a lot of members to speculate which coaches would be joining the Groove team. In 2023, Peloton added Mila Lazar and Leanne to the Groove instructor team, which also brought the ride type to German language classes for the first time. So along with Mila, Leanne, Emma, Cody also teaches Groove Rides, in addition now to Denis and Camila. So for those unfamiliar with the groove ride style. It's a specific format of cycling class, which is heavily coordinated with music, not always, but typically a lot of times with EDM, electronic dance music. And unlike most other Peloton cycling classes, groove rides include a lot of heavy choreography, both in and out of the saddle, such as tapbacks, hinges, jumps, and arm presses. So it kind of reminds me a lot of some of the in-person soul cycle, where they're like doing all these like movements with the handlebars. It's kind of that style. If you've seen those clip snippets on social media from time to time.
I'm sure tons of folks got a nice little preview of that from the 2-for-1 with Leanne and Emma, which we'll talk about. But that was, it was a groove ride, but it was, what we have to look forward to. I didn't actually realize, to be honest with you, when I heard groove, I don't think I realized that was what it was. I'd seen them on the schedule. I just thought it was like groovy music or something like that. And then obviously when Leanne and Emma did the class the other night and I did it, it was something that I was like, oh, that's what they mean by groove. So I learned something new because I had no idea that that's what it was. It was the actual movements of the body and the choreography, etc.
Right.
So it's
a lot more physical and not just like sitting, in the saddle, kind of just
right. I would picture Allie Love
position.
Those kind of. I would picture Allie. She likes to
with
dance
the dance background. I think Cody's been teaching them steadily since he joined Peloton.
Okay.
So, and then obviously Emma came on around 2017, and I think has been teaching them since then at some point because they both have the dance background.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, Peloton's newest artist series for this past week spotlighted the music of Green Day. Classes began on Thursday, February the 15th, and the series is actually set to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Dookie, Green Day's seminal album. Through a selection of workouts that span 5 different modalities, including rides, runs, strength, yoga, and rowing. The lineup does consist of 8 classes, with one being taught in German and others premiering for the first time. Additionally, Peloton will introduce 3 Green Day themed lane break levels on both the bike and the tread, but those are not going to drop until later in the month, towards the end of February. Some of the live classes that dropped on Thursday were a 30-minute ride with Charlotte Wiedenbach, a 30-minute Green Day run with Tobias Hines. Bradley Rose had a 30-minute ride, whilst Denis Morton did a 30-minute yoga flow. If you guys want to see the full list of classes, just head over to pelobuddy.com and you can pick them up from there. Or you can just type Green Day into your app and you'll be able to see. Yeah. I love that you can do that. So yes, Chris, we still want you around and we need you, but it is nice that you can actually physically go into the app and search those right there. So yeah.
Well, we had Valentine's Day has just passed, and we had a bunch of Valentine's Day classes.
Happy Valentine's Day, John. How did I not wish my Valentine? My on-screen Valentine.
Anyway, we had a total of 6 classes across 4 modalities, including a special edition of Callie's signature soundtrack Strength Club series. We had some live and pre-recorded on-demand releases, but they're all out there now in the library right now currently. So just to recap them, 20-minute soundtrack Strength Club with Callie, a 30-minute Valentine's Day walk and talk with Maddie. That one dropped as a premiere. I was surprised it wasn't live.
Yeah, he did tell us the week before that he was going to be recording it because he was out of town this past week.
Gotcha. 30-minute Valentine's Day yoga flow with Dennis. That one went straight on demand. 20-minute V-Day ride with Mila. A 30-minute walk plus run with Marcel, which I assume was in German, and a 30-minute ride with Hannah Frankson, which I did live, which was a lot of fun because I knew Hannah wasn't going to be like, she's single. Yeah, she talks about the frustrations with online dating. So I knew there would be some fun little tidbits in there, which it was a great class. And then we got a bunch of also special 2-for-1 classes, which are also in the Valentine's Day collection. They weren't billed as Valentine's Day classes per se, but they all were pretty much live the day before Valentine's Day on the 13th. So we got a 2-for-1 30-minute row with Ash and Katie. We had a 30-minute 2-for-1 groove ride, which we mentioned just a little while ago, with Emma and Leanne. 30-minute 2-for-1 walk plus run with Susie and Jocelyn. A 30-minute 2-for-1 yoga conditioning with Mariana and Kira. And then a 30-minute 2-for-1 strength bar class with Allie and Hannah Corbin. So nice little surprise there. And then interestingly, during that Susie and Jocelyn 2-for-1 walk plus run, they had some sort of weird technical problem just with that specific class that was happening live, where if you were on the hardware, if you attempted to join it, you might have received a message that said, we're having trouble loading this class right now. On the app, it wasn't playing. It was saying people were getting a message saying this video file could not be played, and it showed an error code with like a 6-digit number on it. There was a very small number of members apparently that were able to join and take it live, but the vast majority were locked out. And the class still took place and was added to the on-demand library afterwards as normal. But all other live classes.
There were live members in those classes, which is unusual, as we know, for a Tuesday. But they all said nobody had any idea, in the class, because I'd spoken to friends that were in there, and they said they had no idea that it wasn't, being broadcast live to everybody.
But what was really strange was it was just specific to that one class.
Yes,
that everyone had issues with. All the other classes around that time.
Well, I think what happened was, I think their class was earlier on in the day, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Bradley Rose was teaching. At least Bradley was teaching a cycling class at the same time. There was no issues with getting in on that class on the bike or on the app.
Got it.
And what was also a little odd was there was no official status that had been shared or posted to Peloton's status webpage, where they frequently update technical problems or outages as they happen in real time. So it was just, it's kind of a weird anomaly there.
Yeah. I guess they were, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't say anything about it, but it did go on demand. I have not done it yet. I'm looking forward to doing it. It's for my weekend stack to do Jess and Susie's. But Leanne and Emma's was fabulous. Leanne was just, oh my goodness, she was amazing in that class. And Mariana and Kira's was so frigging hard. These yoga conditioning classes. I mean, even I was chatting with Mariana after. She goes, Amanda, I struggled through it. She goes, Kira is a beast. She was but it was cute to kind of see them all together. So I guess it was really in celebration of Valentine's Day. Yeah, because
none of them were labeled Valentine's Day, and
no,
they were just lumped in Valentine's Day. Yeah, but yet right.
Yeah. Fun. All right. Well, there are some new mobility classes, both in English and German, that are dropping, and they have a new face on the roster. So Peloton Studios Instagram shared that Selena Samuela will be teaching new mobility classes now too. Selena's first class dropped on Tuesday, February the 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. But on Tuesday the 6th, we saw 2 classes from Andy Spear. It was a 10-minute wrist and a 10-minute hip mobility, as well as a class from Mila Lazar in German. Eric Yeager had dropped a 20-minute full body motility class on the 13th. According to the post, the new mobility classes will drop every Tuesday in February. And I just did Selena's this past week. It's just, they call it mobility. It really is like a stretching class. I guess it gives you a little bit more, maybe on those rest days. It's a nice class to do on a rest day. Hers was 20 minutes. It was great. It was a full body. And I often do her stretches. So I like how she's very focused on what she does. But I did it. And it was great. But it really is a glorified stretching class.
Does she use a towel or any bands or anything? Okay.
No, she didn't use anything, just the mat. And and it was just using your own body. You started off with neck rolls and you kind of went into cat-cow. And so a combination of stretching, yoga, and just kind of moving your body, getting the mobility, I guess. And this was like a morning. It was called a morning mobility.
Nice.
So it was nice. Yeah. Kind of if you're waking up stiff before you decide to go and work out, it may be a nice thing to jump on.
I like it. Well, Peloton celebrated the Lunar New Year with a series of classes that began last Friday, February 9th, and finished up on Sunday, February 11th. We ended up getting 4 classes across 3 modalities with Katie Wong, Susie Chan, Sam Yo, and Emma Lovewell. Half of the classes ended up being pre-recorded and were on-demand drops, and the other half took place live. So what we got was a 20-minute Lunar New Year row with Katie, a 20-minute New Year run with Susie, 30-minute ride with Emma, and a 30-minute New Year ride with Sam. In addition, to the traditional classes, we also got 3 new lane break levels, which are now available. A 15-minute lane break ride, a 15-minute lane break run, and a 15-minute walk. And Peloton they've observed the Lunar New Year in both years past in 2023 and 2022. Historically, there have not been badges available for taking any of these classes, and that also appears to be the case this year as well.
All right. Well, there was a variety of new content for the past week from February 12th to the 18th, which was highlighted in Peloton's this week at Peloton in their Instagram post. And we are sharing that with you here. So it was this past week. But what came to us first up was the Peloton Workday Reset Collection. So this collection offers quick classes kind of just designed to refresh both body and mind during a busy workday. Initially featuring 20 classes ranging from 5 to 20 minutes, but it includes chair yoga, it includes standing yoga, body weight strength classes, outdoor audio runs, meditations, and so much more. So that was something that they had, kind of launched, which they shared with us. And then they shared this new Hack the Commute collection, which is a curated collection to transform daily commutes into opportunities for wellness. We spoke about that last week, but the collection does include outdoor runs and walks, stretches, meditations, and walking meditation. So there is, in fact, a specific collection that folks can go into to pick any of those workouts that they feel would help your commute. And it was kind of launched as a UK initiative for those folks that are kind of on the subway or the tube, as they call it. But that was something that they had launched. And then there's the monthly mantra with Kristen McGee, which introduces a new monthly mantra stack pairing a yoga flow with a meditation. So the first classes that she launched was a 30-minute beginner yoga flow and a 10-minute kindness meditation. And that took place on February the 13th. So interestingly enough, those, have appeared on the schedule before. I mean, Aditi's been doing them on a Monday morning for eternity. Rob does these stacks on a Saturday. I think there may even be another day. But it's interesting that now they've kind of given Kristen her own little program. which I kind of really like. And then a Power Zone country ride with Denis Morton was just this past Saturday, the 17th. It was at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it features Denis's favorite country hits. The class was live from PSNY with members. So Power Zone and country, but I guess folks like that. So that should be interesting.
Denis, I like Nashville country. I don't like old Texas country. And the thing with Denis
and that's what he does.
He goes with these old, like Alan Jackson, just like this really older country, not
not Beyonce,
not Carrie Underwood. Yeah, so
Beyonce that's just come out with her country music. Oh, that's
I don't know.
funny.
I don't know. A year ago or so, I ended up it was a 30-minute country ride with Denis, and I was way in the back in the studio. Man, it was rough.
Brutal. It was rough. We won't tell. Denis, don't listen to that. Shut your ears.
And I knew exactly what it was I expected exactly that. So I knew going, it was no surprise. So
right.
That's
funny.
That's just his style. That's the country music he likes. So that's what you're going to get.
I guess, these updates, just to kind of conclude that, really are just a way for Peloton members, to integrate their fitness into their daily routines. I think that's what they're trying to do, is just make it more accessible for folks, not just looking at it as a workout, but really incorporating it into your daily routine. Daily routine. Exactly. Whether you're looking for a midday week, a mid-weekday
lunchtime workout or a commute.
Exactly. It's just a nice way of them giving, a platform for everybody, which I love.
And another option to earn that blue dot too.
Exactly.
As a lot of us will look at it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we're getting another in-person instructor event at a showroom in the United States. And this one, you're getting a 2-for-1. We're getting Jess King and Rebecca Kennedy, who are, besties, who are real close. And they're going to be appearing down in the Washington, D.C. area, Peloton showroom, which is the Tyson's Corner location. It's billed as a meet and greet with a little game night with trivia and bingo. RSVP is already booked up. So if you didn't get a spot, you're probably out of luck at this point. But it's all happening this coming Tuesday, the 20th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. The event is called Meet Jess and Rebecca IRL. And the doors open about an hour before the scheduled time, but Peloton says members will have the opportunity to shop for apparel with a 15% off discount. There's going to be a game night portion with trivia and bingo. And then there's obviously going to be a little photo op with the little, one-on-one meet and greet time as well. But just around the corner. Did you get into that? Are you going to be in town, Amanda?
You stole my story. I did. So I actually am flying back up to DC on Tuesday. I was scheduled to fly back Tuesday night, and I got to give a huge shout out to Jamie Brooks, Pedal to Paris. When it popped up, literally my phone blew up, and she was like, you got to book this. And I did. So I did get into it, and I'm able to change my flight. So I'm going to fly in early Tuesday instead of late Tuesday, so that I can attend. I adore Rebecca, and I don't really know Jess. So I'm excited to, I'm excited to do this. But it really, not very many people got in. So I don't know how many people they're expecting. The showroom is nice. They just redid it. It's a new one. They moved locations about a year ago.
Okay.
Across the way.
Is it one of those sort of outdoor malls?
No, it's inside the mall. It is inside the mall. It's a beautiful mall. Very busy though, but it's inside. So, but it's a nice location. So I'm excited. I will report back to you guys next Thursday and let you know how it went. But I'm excited that I'm going to get to be there. So I'll give Rebecca a little hug from you, John. I'll be nice.
It was funny. I hadn't seen Jess King since I rode with her back in May of 2019 before the pandemic. And then when I was at the studio last month, she was finishing up, her class, her photo line, and she was leaving. And as I was walking up the stairs, she was just like, hey, you're back. And so it was kind of fun. She she gave me a little pat on the back, but yeah, it was fun. She remembered right away.
Yeah.
So
Did you see Rebecca when you were in that? Because I had done that hike. Okay. This past
trip.
time you didn't?
No,
okay.
I didn't run into her.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't
saw
sure.
Andy.
Yeah, you didn't come in. You didn't come in on Saturday morning when I did the hike.
Just Thursday and Friday.
Well, while we're talking about RK, we've shared over the past few weeks that she had mentioned on her Instagram that she was releasing an unofficial split strength program. So this week we wanted to update everybody that now all the classes are available, and Rebecca shared them on her Instagram in order. So day one is a 30-minute upper body strength class from January the 24th. Day two is a 30-minute glutes and legs strength class from January the 31st. Day three is a 30-minute upper body strength from February the 14th. And then day four is a 45-minute full body strength, which actually dropped on Friday, February the 9th. So just for folks, it's not a mistake. That is how it is. So she's done the 14th, and then she's doing that 45-minute class from the 9th. Always remember to add a stretch class after each of these classes. She does have a very, very detailed post on her Instagram. So if you want to understand a little bit more about her motivation for doing this, and a really very well outlined description of what she wants folks to be able to do, she has some frequently asked questions, ask questions in there, as well as how to schedule your ideal week. She offers two variations with rest days in there. So there's an option 1 and an option 2 that you can kind of see how fits into your specific schedule for that week. She recommends that the program be repeated for 4 to 8 weeks, but to remember to take a deload week somewhere in the middle. So she kind of tells folks to, keep going, but definitely there should be 1 week where you absolutely don't do anything and kind of just give your body a break. But honestly, go over to her Instagram page. She has it on there, and it's there's a couple slides, and then she has a very detailed description in the in the content of that post. So definitely take a look at that. Yeah, I'm going to start it next week. It looked great. I liked that it was just 4 days. It looked like a really good program. She did say, though, that it's not a beginner program. She said, folks that are kind of more at an intermediate level should be looking at doing it.
Okay. Well, we've got Run Club in February in London coming up, and it's a outdoor run on Wednesday, the 28th of February at Peloton Studios, London. That's kind of the meetup point. But Peloton, you can RSVP. It's a free event. It's spots are limited, so it's first come, first serve. But I don't know where they're actually promoting this to go sign up, but it's event.onepeloton.com/outdoor run with Peloton Feb. I don't know if we have a write-up for it on Pelo Buddy. Or if Peloton Studios might have
I'm not
about
sure.
it.
I know they sent an email. I think they sent an email to regulars, because somebody had showed me an email that I had seen. But I didn't see it anywhere specific. Yeah,
they have where you can RSVP, submit your email, your information. They've got a 6:15 London time arrival time in the evening, and then I guess the whole group will be departing at 6:30, and they just said, it's weather permitting, obviously, but wear suitable footwear and clothing for the weather that day. And I'm not sure, they didn't say if it's what instructors are involved or who's going to be participating, but I would guess that there would be more than one instructor from PSL that'll be leading the group. So it sounds like it could be a fun time.
Definitely. They've done a couple things. I think they're making it a little bit more formal now. But they've done a couple of them because friends have jumped in and done these. So I think this may be their third or fourth that they're actually doing. But I think now they've formalized it and they're making it into something that, folks can sign up and make it a little bit more formal.
That's good.
Yeah, well, the next story is truly just amazing. Peloton released its first member story on YouTube. It's a 2-minute, 19-second video, which features Peloton member Shaunta-Mae. Shaunta-Mae had developed a neurological condition that had left her completely paralyzed from the waist down. And folks, I truly don't think that I could do her story justice in sharing on the podcast. So my advice is to do yourselves a favor and head over to YouTube and take the 2 minutes and 19 seconds to watch this incredible journey. Because honestly, if you will have such a different perspective on your workout journey for yourself after you've seen just how phenomenal this young woman is and what she's accomplished in, finding out her diagnosis to where she is today. It is,
and we've discussed
amazing.
Her story
yes
recently because her story was shared on one of Peloton's social media channels or by one of the instructors. I'm trying to recall now.
Tunde. I think Tunde
maybe interviewed her.
Well, I think Tunde invited her to a class. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Tunde invited her to a class, which she went to. But what they did was they kind of showed you, I guess they broadened it for Peloton members to show them kind of how she got to this point. And she shares that journey. It is, it is just like hair, your hair stands up when you recognize that and she had and I meant to document what she said, but she had a saying, hold on, I may actually even have it here as to what she said. She said, yep, my disability does not disqualify me from my purpose. And that's just something, you take and you run with, because that's just amazing. Just amazing.
Wow. Well, shifting gears a little bit. So this story applies for folks who use a non-Peloton bike. So you might use the app or just an off-brand spin bike. But Peloton has identified an issue that they're reporting on, an iOS app issue, for folks who use the Peloton app with a non-Peloton bike, and they connect a cadence sensor so they can get those metrics associated with that sensor. Right now, the issue is a lot of members are unable to see their metrics when they're in the landscape mode of the app, which there is a workaround to fix that issue, which is just to change the view to portrait mode. But Peloton has recently kind of updated that status page for this specific issue that they've identified the problem, and a fix is in progress. So stay tuned. We know Chris Lewis always likes to keep us updated, especially on little technical issues and outages. So he'll get that reported right away once it rolls out.
Right. And this week's class Purge, it happened on February the 9th. It removed the majority of classes filmed between December 11th and 12th of 2020. It resulted in approximately 25 classes being removed from the on-demand library. Despite the removals, there were several classes that were preserved, including some stretches, a Nicki Minaj artist series, some holiday classes, power zone rides, and more. The specific classes that remain available from this period after the purge are listed on pelobuddy.com. So you can head over there. And then I guess that takes us into Instructor in the News. And
yes,
John,
and first
can
up,
kick it off.
Kendall Toole. She's been in some ads recently wearing some non-Peloton Lululemon gear. She had just posted this past week on Instagram from a little photo shoot that she had just done. She said such a special way to kick off, because she's a recent Lululemon ambassador. She was recently announced. She said such a special way to kick off ambassador life with Lululemon by helping launch their Cityverse shoe. this new shoe that they're putting out. She said it was a joy to work on the shoot with an incredible team. And she said, I do truly love these shoes and can't wait to wear into the spring and summer, as open toe shoes are a no for me in a city like NYC. My dogs will not be touching the dirty streets. Thankfully, these go with everything. And they were kind of like a very simple looking sort of white sneaker put out by Lululemon. So
yeah. Nice. Good for her. All right. And for those of you that love to flow with Nico Serrani, she has shared that she'll be off the schedule for a few weeks as she'll be out of the country renewing her visa. It looks like she'll be back on the schedule, hoping all goes well, in March. But just so you're aware, if you haven't seen her around, she's fine. Nothing's wrong with her. She's just having to get those pesky, papers sorted so that she can continue to teach.
So does that mean she has to go back to her? So is she?
I believe so.
German?
I believe she's German. So she probably
has to go back to Germany and sort of stay there for a certain amount of time until her visa is renewed. Is that kind of the process?
You know what? I think it's different for everybody, but that must be how it is for her. Yeah. I wasn't familiar. So yeah.
Well, your pal Ross Rayburn, he is at the end of his book tour, and he's closing it out with the last stop at his alma mater, which is SMU, Southern Methodist University in Dallas. And it's happening. It's right around the corner. It's on February 21st, and it's to promote his book that he's been out promoting currently, called Turning Inward. He posted about it and saying limited spots available, and there was just basically he just referenced an email address to email. So I couldn't find an actual website with a landing page or an option to purchase tickets. So I don't know what the process is to attend it. But he simply, in his recent Instagram post, he said to email ym.rayside@gmail.com. And that spots are limited. So if you're in the Dallas area, you should definitely check it out at SMU.
Definitely head over. Yeah. All right, great. And then last up, we mentioned last week that Callie Gullickson's Bring Your Own Energy, her BYOE apparel, had a new drop. From what we can update you on, it was a restock with some slightly new colors. So there wasn't anything specifically new that was launched other than some new colors and restock of the stuff that she had there. And that wraps up that. And we are going to kick it right off into picks of the week. Why don't you go ahead and start?
We're just flying right through it. So I will start it off with Toon Day's 30-minute Timbaland ride from February 8th. We got this from Lauren K2, Amajar 3. They said fun playlist and didn't realize Timbaland had produced so many of these great songs. And then Camila's 45-minute Hidden Hills ride from the 9th. Got this from Karen Zemsky-Berry. They said, good solid workout with Camila. Chelsea Jackson Roberts, 30-minute funk yoga flow from February 9th. We got that from Armajar 3. She said, great class from Chelsea with a fun playlist.
All right. And then going into some strength, Rebecca Kennedy. So this is one of her classes that she's put into her 4-day split. It's the 45-minute full body strength. It is from the 9th. Mamalo 311 and Evic Treads both recommended this one. They said great class that is now part of her unofficial 4-day split. And then Alex's 30-minute hit and heels ride from the 10th, February the 10th. This one came from Rachel Spins 24. They said fabulous workout and great energy. And Sam Yo's, his 30-minute Lunar New Year ride from the 11th. Spin-loving mama recommended this one, and they said Sam did great with this class, and the horoscopes were so fun.
All right, switching over to Leanne now, 30-minute 90s pop from February 12th. Got this from Daisy Mack, Rachel Spins 24, Carol Thomo. They said Fun playlist, fun vibe, fun class. And energy was amazing having her in NYC. And then Ben Aldis's 45-minute Power Zone Endurance 80s ride from February 12th. Rachel Spins 24 gave us this one. She said solid music and great workout. And then Allie Love and Hannah Corbin's 30-minute 2-for-1 bar class from February 13th. Spin Bug gave us this class. They said, fun to see these longtime friends interact while teaching the class.
Yeah, and then we got a recommendation. Somebody was happy that Irene is back. Carl TMG had recommended her 30-minute pop ride from the 13th that we spoke of. Irene's first ride back. So glad to have her back on the platform. And then KDL Spins. She gave us Jocelyn Thompson Rule and Susie Chan's 2-for-1 walk, also from the 13th. She said they had so much fun with this, and so did I. And then the next one, I am putting my name on this one too. So myself and Yogi Matt 82 recommended Kira Michelle and Mariana Fernandez's 30-minute 2-for-1 conditioning yoga. Also from the 13th, Yogi Mac 82 said, I've enjoyed all the yoga conditioning classes, but this one with both Kira and Mariana teaching was next level. I'll add to it. It was fun to see the two of them, who are good friends, just have fun. I loved how they just let go. Kira was very, definitely has a different way of doing yoga to Mariana. Mariana loves to shimmy in her class. Kira is a little bit more structured. And she said, you're like having me go out of my comfort zone on this one. But it was so fun to see. It was hard AF. I mean, these conditioning classes are murderous. It was fantastic because there were tons of friends in the class. So Adam J, Manhattan Adam was in there. My friend Murray Soul was in there. So it was just fun to see friends in the class as well, having so much fun.
All right. So next up, Leanne and Emma's 30-minute groove 2-for-1 ride from the 13th. Ms. Janky, Jess Dance Lisa, and Sexy Lexi 5 submitted this one. They said, love the combo of the groove ride and the 2-for-1. And then Ash and Katie Wong's 30-minute 2-for-1 row, also from the 13th. Midwife Lexi said, perfect way to celebrate the strong female friendships in our lives. And then Toon Day's 45-minute intervals and arms ride from February 14th. Got this from Lauren K2. She said, great playlist, and Toon Day is always so inspiring.
Yeah, and then we move on to Callie's 20-minute soundtrack strength club from the 14th. This one came to us from Amaja 3. She said, this series has been great. This one is about 10 things I hate about you.
I just saw that movie for the first time.
Oh, yeah?
Just last weekend, because I noticed it was on.
I saw it.
It was on Netflix, and it is such a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It is hilarious.
Yeah.
So if you've never seen it, I highly, and it's got so many like young, like a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's got Heath Ledger in it when he was just, like his breakthrough role early on. It's a really good movie, really funny.
Yeah, awesome. And then, of course, Maddie Majacomo's 30-minute Valentine's Day walk and talk. This one came to us from Kylie Wants to Run. But there's just no question that you can only but have fun having Maddie talk about Valentine's Day. And he did an amazing job. He combined it, with his walk and talk. So it was kind of a combined theme. What's not to love? And I completely agree. And then rounding up our picks of the week for this week is the one that you did live, Hannah Frankson's 30-minute Valentine's Day ride from the 14th. This one did come to us from Amajar 3 and Kenny Banya. I'm adding you on there. Amajar said her themed rides are almost always so much fun. And of course they are. I mean, she has just so much fun. So, wow. I think we may have even did this under an hour. Look at us.
Bank Guy is going to be really pleased with the time.
So happy
on
with
this
us.
one.
So happy with us. And yeah, I know that some of you had reached out and said that you really were interested in us doing some member interviews as well and getting folks on the show. I don't know where we're at with that. So I will definitely circle back with the Chris's and see how we can get that on here and maybe do them as midweek drops of just folks, within the community, because there's so many amazing stories that aren't being, reflected or spoken about that I think would be wonderful to be able to share. And you don't have to have a heartbreak story. It can be a great story. It can be a great story, but it doesn't have to be necessarily an illness or something. So yeah, if you guys are interested, just email us. Let us know that you are interested in doing it, and we will definitely, look at possibly flip-flopping between John and myself and interviewing you guys and doing this, because I think it could be fun. We did them in the past and they were fun. I mean, yeah. So I think it could be. You don't seem too keen?
I'm game.
Hey, that's how you got on the show, John Pruitt. I interviewed you, and you were awesome.
I'm down for whatever.
I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. All right. Well, we are going to leave you with that thought. As always,
you're just gonna find my replacement after one of those interviews.
Never. No. Now that you're nice to me, I could never. You're stuck with me until I leave you. Until you find a replacement for me. Because I'm sure there's somebody better out there. Anyway, as always, folks. Yeah, no new additions, Chris. You keep quiet back there.
Yeah, silence peanut gallery.
From the peanut gallery. None of you hear him. But again, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. We hope that this just gives you a nice wrap up of the Peloton week and everything that is happening in our Peloton world. We love that you take the time to listen or watch and really appreciate it. So as John said at the top of the show, if you like what you hear or you don't, then leave us a message. Let us know so that we can improve it moving forward. We certainly love doing this for you guys. So yeah, from me down in South Miami, a beautiful day, and I am busy recording Pelo Buddy. Bye for now, everybody.
Yes, and even though it's probably going to be a quiet week next week, I'm sure we will be back as we always are. So stay busy out there with all the encore drops and content that they're putting out while both studios are closed. But for me here in Michigan, thank you for tuning in, watching, and listening. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.